Okay, let's unpack this. We have a detailed, um, a really fascinating snapshot of a year in the life of a very active local group, the Friends of Mitcham Common, or FOMC.
It's right.
And it's so easy to overlook what goes into maintaining these local green spaces. We use the park, we enjoy the common land, but we rarely see
Yeah.
the intricate infrastructure behind it.
We just take it for granted.
Exactly. And this document, this breakdown of their 2025 activities, it reveals a remarkable level of dedication and complexity, really.
Yeah.
Sheer organization.
It's so much more than just a dedicated group, though. It's almost a blueprint.
Blueprint for what?
For a successful conservation organization, I mean, this deep dive is about extracting their operational model. Our mission here is to move past the simple list of events and really understand not just what they did in 2025,
But how they did it.
precisely how they managed to seamlessly balance everything. The heavy, consistent labor of physical maintenance, the precision of citizen science, and the demanding schedules of communication, all within a volunteer structure.
Yeah.
We're basically charting the anatomy of effective, measurable, local engagement for you, the learner.
And what stands out to me right away are the specific, surprising facts. We're going to get into the sheer scale of the physical commitment, look at some genuinely unexpected historical connections.
Oh, the bomb crate.
The bomb crater story is fantastic. And then we'll analyze how they built a modern communication strategy that kept, hundreds of volunteers engaged.
So where do we start?
Let's start right where all conservation efforts begin. The foundation. The boots on the ground.
Absolutely. Because the truth is, without that consistent physical effort, all the other projects, they just fail. The engine of this whole organization is manual labor, and the numbers here are powerful proof of that consistency.
We're talking about the valiant litter pickers. Yeah. Right. The source note's a very specific number, 13.
13.
So what does 13 litter picks over the course of a single year tell us about the sustainability of this volunteer activity?
13 is hugely significant. It really speaks to operational routine, not just one-off enthusiasm.
So more than once a month.
It averages out to a major cleanup session every 4 weeks, all year long. And you have to think about the logistics involved.
Right.
Organizing the volunteers, coordinating the timing, securing the equipment, and crucially, arranging the safe disposal of everything they collect. And doing that 13 times. That kind of unwavering consistency is really the only way you can manage large common land effectively. It stops that gradual degradation that makes future restoration work just impossibly expensive.
So that's the general maintenance.
Yeah.
The necessary baseline.
Yeah.
But they also focused on specific high-intensity ecological projects at the same time.
Yes.
And here's where it gets really interesting for me. They weren't just reacting to trash. They were actively restoring a specific high-value habitat. The Acid Grassland Restoration Project.
That's the strategic layer. While the litter picks are broad, sustained, general maintenance, the acid grassland restoration is highly focused, specialized work, high-impact ecological work.
And the sources say volunteers assisted the conservators on 11 occasions.
No fewer than 11 occasions, just for this project. This is complex habitat management.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't, deeply immersed in ecology, why acid grassland? Why is that such a focused, labor-intensive priority? Why 11 sessions just on this?
That's a critical question for the learner. Acid grassland is a specific, often rare habitat. It's defined by poor acidic soil.
Okay.
And that low pH means only certain specialized plants and animals can thrive there. It's often targeted for restoration because it supports vulnerable species, and it's rapidly disappearing.
Due to what? Pollution?
Usually nutrient runoff or changes in how the land is managed. The work isn't just mowing, it's often scraping off the nutrient-rich topsoil or clearing invading scrub to maintain those very specific conditions these rare plants require.
So 11 dedicated sessions means they were basically engineering the environment back to a specific state.
Exactly. That's professional-grade conservation undertaken by volunteers. It's incredible.
And nestled right inside this intensive ecological work, they tackled a site that blends that ecology with local history. The source notes they included clearing the bomb crater.
Yes, the bomb crater.
Which even has a plaque.
And this detail. This is the narrative hook that transforms the effort from just a technical project into a real community story.
Right.
You have the specialized ecological work, but in doing it, they are actively preserving a physical marker of local history.
Yeah.
A relic of wartime that literally shaped the landscape.
And that plaque, it ensures that as they protect the environment, They're also protecting the community's collective memory.
It's just smart engagement. It means the volunteers aren't just seeing themselves as ecologists clearing brush.
They're historical preservationists at the same time.
Precisely. Does the source material give any hint as to whether they actively recruit volunteers interested in history, or is this just a bonus?
It doesn't say explicitly, but given how organized they are elsewhere.
You have to assume it's deliberate. It broadens their appeal. When you tie the fate of the natural environment to a human landmark, especially one as evocative as a bomb crater, you draw in a wider segment of the community.
It contextualizes the Comitat, not just as a piece of nature, but as a living museum.
That intertwining of ecology and human history is a hallmark of successful, deeply rooted local conservation groups.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, let's transition from the heavy hands-on physical work to the more detailed analytical observation.
The data.
Yes, the data. The FOMC isn't just about clearing debris and managing soil pH. It's about tracking the health of the ecosystem.
Okay.
What did their dedicated citizen science volunteer lead in 2025?
This is where we see that shift from sheer effort to intelligent data capture. They used a dedicated volunteer to lead 3 specific structured efforts to gather observational data.
And that's crucial. Why?
Because data provides the measurable proof, the proof you need for funding, for future planning. It validates the work.
Okay, so give us the rundown. What were those 3 efforts and why that specific trio?
Well, the triad is designed to give a comprehensive, layered snapshot of the ecosystem's health. First, you have the widely recognized RSPB birdwatch.
Right, I've heard of that.
That provides important long-term data on bird populations, a key indicator of habitat quality over time. Second, they led the big butterfly count,
Also a big one.
which monitors insect health and biodiversity, and that's often tied directly to specific plant life.
And the third one was the flower-timed insect counts.
Yes, and that one is much more focused. While the butterfly count is broad, the flower-timed insect counts are usually conducted over specific periods at specific flowering plants.
I see. So what does that tell them?
It provides critical information on local pollinator activity, which is basically the engine of the entire ecosystem.
So by tracking birds, butterflies, and general pollinators.
They cover 3 major taxonomic groups. It gives them robust, targeted, and importantly, defendable metrics about the health impacts of their 11 restoration sessions.
It's a smart, targeted strategy. And they were clever about how they bundled all this. They held their AGM, the big organizational meeting, and an open day in July.
And they didn't let the open day just be a social event.
Far from it. That July event was strategically maximized. So while the AGM took care of the legal and financial stuff,
The necessary housekeeping.
the open day was engineered to be a festival of knowledge sharing. We know the citizen science lead ran the butterfly and insect counts there. But the source reveals this amazing degree of specialization.
Go on.
A different volunteer led an additional bird watch, while yet another specialist volunteer led a history walk on the common.
At that level of specialization is the key takeaway for the learner who's trying to replicate this model. They didn't rely on one person to cover everything from finance to butterflies to war history.
No, it's efficiency through expertise.
Precisely. By combining governance with multiple high-interest, actionable activities, science, history, observation, they maximize the incentive for members to attend.
So a member walks away from that day feeling,
Aware of the group's governance, useful for contributing new data, and with a deeper understanding of the land's past. It is an extremely efficient model for driving both compliance and community education at the same time.
okay, so all this consistent physical labor, the 13 picks, the 11 restorations, and all this specialized science, it all requires a highly functional back office.
The organizational engine room.
Yes. So let's look at that. How did the FOMC committee manage to communicate, coordinate, and, govern all this activity?
They excelled at varied and structured communication, and they maintained vital institutional relationships. First, their formal oversight is key. The committee participated in the annual inspection of the common with the conservators.
And that's important because
It's vital. This isn't just a polite exchange. This shows a formal, official partnership and shared oversight. It ensures that every one of those 11 restoration sessions is aligned with the broader legal requirements for the land.
they're working with the authority, not in isolation.
That's right. That alignment is foundational for sustainable longevity.
Now, let's look at their internal communications, which is massive. They sent out 18 email updates to members. 18.
18 emails in a year is a deliberate commitment to high-frequency communication. That is almost 2 updates a month.
Wow.
And that rapid-fire channel is essential for mobilizing their volunteers for those 13 litter picks and 11 focused sessions. Emails are for calls to action, immediate reminders, quick updates on, weather changes.
Oh, wait, 18 emails,
Mm.
nearly 2 a month. Doesn't that run the risk of inducing serious inbox fatigue? I mean, does the source hint at how they kept members from just hitting unsubscribe?
That's a great challenge point, and the answer here seems to be diversification. They didn't rely only on email for detailed reporting.
What else did they do?
They published 2 issues of their Magpie newsletters.
Okay.
The newsletter serves a completely different function. It's for legacy reporting, deep dives into historical findings, thank yous to specific volunteers, beautiful photography. That slower, more thoughtfully designed document satisfies the member who wants depth without the constant digital noise.
So you have the fast action emails, the legacy in-depth newsletters, and then they clearly embrace the digital world, which you have to do to reach younger volunteers.
Absolutely. They produced 6 explainer videos for their YouTube channel over the year.
6 videos in a year. That is a staggering production schedule for a volunteer-run organization.
It really is.
This isn't just a number. It implies a dedicated volunteer with technical skills, scripting, shooting, editing.
And what does producing that volume of videos let them do that emails or newsletters can't?
Well, the videos signify a sustained commitment to teaching and accessibility. They serve several strategic functions. First, they teach practical skills.
Like how to do an insect count, for example.
Exactly, or how to identify an invasive species. Second, they provide a lasting, easily shared digital footprint that makes the common relevant far beyond its immediate area. And third, most practically, video content dramatically lowers the barrier to entry for new volunteers.
Makes it less intimidating.
Yeah, it shows them what the work actually looks like. Managing that production load 6 times a year shows just how much strategic value they place on visual education.
So if we connect this all to the bigger picture, we see a group that is perfectly layered in its management.
They have the official alignment with the conservators,
The immediate calls to action with those 18 emails,
the in-depth legacy reporting with the 2 magpies.
and the sustained, engaging digital content with 6 videos. They hit every single communication channel they could.
And that strategic layering is the reason they're successful. This isn't just a document about good intentions or random acts of community service.
It's a template. It's a template for effective, measurable outcomes. The strategy is clear. High-frequency, dedicated physical labor leads to measurable ecological improvements.
Which is tracked through specialized citizen science data.
And all of it is fueled and sustained by varied, frequent, targeted communication.
It's the whole cycle of conservation. The consistent effort, that dedication shown by those 13 litter picks and 11 restoration sessions, it feeds the data collection.
And the data collection, supported by that specialization in history and science, justifies the organizational efforts. It all connects.
And this reveals a deeper truth about volunteer management, right? The FOMC's success relies on dedicated specialization.
Absolutely. They found people willing to lead the science, people willing to lead the history walks, and people with the skills to produce 6 videos. They harnessed expertise rather than expecting every volunteer to be a generalist.
That's a crucial lesson for anyone looking to organize a civic effort. Find the niche, empower the specialist, and then communicate constantly.
Exactly. The document demonstrates that tangible results in habitat management, historical preservation, and public education are driven by highly specific, organized actions, not just broad, optimistic goals.
The FOMC provides that perfect roadmap for action. We've seen the sustained physical effort, the multifaceted data capture, the protection of the bomb crater history, and that robust communication strategy. It's all there.
Which I think raises an important final question, a question for you, the learner, to explore on your own. The FOMC identified specialized needs in their community ecological maintenance, historical interpretation, digital outreach, and they assigned a specialist to each. In your own community, or in the specific professional field you operate in, where do you see the most critical need for this kind of specialized, organized civic effort to fill a gap? Knowing what you now know about the anatomy of effective local action, where would you step in to apply specialized knowledge and start building your own measurable model?